tell you something. I come from a stock of people that don't sell out. And that's long before I joined the Green Party. It's hard to really tell when somebody puts, literally $50,000 in your hand, what you're going to do. But you got to go in there with the idea that that's not why you're like me. You go in there not looking for anything. You go in there, knowing full well you're going to be an outcast. Knowing full well you're going to be by yourself. If you're not prepared to do that, then it's really, really questionable if that you're not going to sell out. So no, I don't agree with your proposition that somehow or another she was mistreated. What I think happened is that she was prepared to sell out, and that's exactly what she did.
No.
That's my position. That's where I look at it. From a long ways away, I come from a long way. But there's nothing about what happened there with Ellie Harris and after that, because she finally went on and just left the Green Party. So hey, the test is in the eating of that pie, not just the cooking of it. When you leave the Green Party, that's telling me a lot.
Yeah. Did you have a question? I'm sorry. You?
Me.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So, Laura, I know you're chipping away at Prop 13, which it should be, okay? Because there's some really bad stuff that happened with Prop 13, and you're kind of getting shut out of different avenues or things for talking. So with Jerry Brown in the race, and that's his baby, how are we going to get that up and in front of the people? Because they're going to be trying to challenge your voice.
Well, it's March now, and we've got March, April, May, June, July, August, 8 months.
Okay.
And so there are ways to get news in. I mean, I was happy that my little Valentine, the Prop 13, got page 3 in the Sacramento Bee is the page that's the Capitol in California. And they have these little boxes up at the top, and they had worth repeating Laura Wells, and they had my little Valentine. And we can go ahead and do things like that, do press releases, hook, onto things, and get to where people know. 4 years ago, we may have talked about denial, but there's less and less denial out there. And so people know and we just, I wish I had an ABC, but the thing is, I appreciate what you said, Deacon. It's like, we got a couple of people up here, we got a whole bunch of people in the room that will not stop. So my answer to your question is that we will just keep going. We will keep going. We will see what worked. We will see what didn't work. We'll talk about, we'll get into the organizations, and we'll talk about, I was just talking to people today, what is this fairness thing? So when there's the mainstream media, they have Gary, Meg, and Steve in there, but then they don't have to have anybody else. But then when you have a peace organization or you have an environmental organization and they're going to have a rally or something, they'd be real fair about it, and they don't have any political speakers. So I go, okay, so you don't have the Democrats and the Republicans or the Greens or the Peace and Freedom. But here, so somehow we got to get the message across. How about if we differentiate between political parties as to those that are corporate funded and those that are not? Those that are the ones that are causing the problems, that are running Washington into the ground and Sacramento into the ground, and those that are not, those that are independent. And so somehow get into those organizations and get a different way of thinking about it.
Moscow and then Shane. And you've been waiting a while. And I haven't him go. He put up his hand like 3 times.
I'm impressed with this flyer. If you could put a flyer out like this with 1/2 of Deacon and 1/2 of Laura, and I think it would add a lot of credibility to the party and make them think.
That's her little.
Yeah, we
Right.
need
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. That would be the Green Focus newspaper. And that's the way
Something
the
to
green
get out to
focus.
the public. I mean,
Right, yeah.
every county would be responsible to get 100,000 of these
Yeah.
in the hands of the public.
That-
Both of you
Yeah.
on it.
That's what we did. One of the things that you know, I talk about pride, but that I'm proud of is that I was one of the co-founders and the initial co-editors of the Green Focus newspaper. And when we were doing it, it came out of actually the 2002 the first statewide campaign where we had a full slate. And I'm hoping that the same thing happens again. I'm looking at Tim Smith. That with the registration drive and things like that, that we get that rolling again. What was happening at the plenaries was that we would have stacks and stacks of newspapers, you know, that would have all the candidates on it, and people would come and take bundles. You know, I remember Orange County would take 2 or 3 bundles of 200 each. But if we can get that kind of, I'm putting in a pitch actually for the voter registration drive to fund that. You know, the thing that Tim Smith, I'm not going to be able to be here tomorrow, so I'm doing it right now, and hope that happens. Because boy, when we were doing that, it was so energetic and so fun and nice meeting people, and they had the values of green, but they didn't even realize that their voter registration meant anything. But we could tell them how it was a strong way to send a message about what their values are. So this is just my pitch is that we have that voter registration drive, that we again start having the Green Focus statewide newspaper that's available and current.
Okay, and then Shane, and then Michael.
Yeah, how best you deal with the issues around undocumented immigrants?
Oh my God, that's my thing there. Listen, I just come from Arizona, where I was the only African American in a sea of about 20,000 people, and we marched on what's that cop's name? And it was the most spirited event that I've been in the last 10 years. I'm so proud of my people in terms of standing up against this pig, and I stand with them 100%. It's not an everyday occurrence where you see a loudmouth African American standing so strong next to the undocumented, but you know, my track record with the farm there in Los Angeles and another undocumented is there's nobody better than me on that on an issue of the undocumented. Right on. Them's my people. Absolutely.
Laura, undocumented?
How would you solve the problem law-wise?
Well, let's go ahead. I didn't mean I feel so passionate about this issue, so maybe you might.
Well, one of the problems is